Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerf Herder Council.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to a special WTF edition of the Nerf Herder Council. This is a WTF Friday. We are playing our favorite Star Trek drinking game tonight, affectionately called Trek ABV. So we will be watching an episode of Star Trek, no sound and very low frame rate. We don't want to be taken offline again. With all the rules, as you can see in the lower right-hand corner of the screen here. We're going to fire up the episode here in a little bit, and we'll be playing and watching and drinking along to an episode of Trek. Might be original series, might be Next Generation, might be DS9, might be Voyager, might be the animated series. Who knows? We're going to hit a random generator. We're going to figure out what series, what season, and what episode in just a minute here. But before we get on to that, let me go ahead and bring on my co-host for the evening, Mr. Joseph Wren. How are you doing tonight? You going to chime in here, buddy, or what?
What's going on, AJ? I felt like it needed to be a shipwide announcement that Trek ABV is back on the internet because no one is stopping us from watching some Trek and drinking with these ridiculous rules we've put together. I feel like we could do this every week, but we might have to change our sleep schedule because sometimes these episodes just keep going and you end up drinking more than you planned. You end up drinking almost as much as you guys do at Celebration. I've heard stories. The fans have heard stories. Let's just say it's going to be a fun time tonight, and I'm excited, as always, to be on the Nerf Herder Council. If this is your first time watching a Trek ABV, the rules are right under my chin. I promise I won't be here the whole time, so don't try to read into me, if you know what I'm saying.
Do you want to go ahead and give the audience a rundown of these rules here before we kick in here?
Absolutely. Let's start with this, though. What are you drinking tonight, AJ? What do you have on standby? Because you have to have a few options when you play Trek ABV.
Yes, there are three main categories that you need to have for Trek ABV. First off, primarily beer or some sort of low alcohol beverage to go ahead and drink along with.
It's recommended.
I've got four randos. So I've got Pursuit of Freedom. It's Dragon Fruit Sour, Session Sour Ale with dragon fruit and natural flavors. So stick with the low ABV because it's
very nice.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. As you can see, rule number one, Trek No Babble means you take a drink of water. So I've got...
We had to, Liquid Death
Cleveland's
is
finest.
on deck.
I actually have Liquid Death as well, but I have the lime.
You're doing the
Severed
sparkling
lime, so.
How's that working out for you?
It's actually really good. I like it. I didn't understand the hype of Liquid Death before I ended up having it randomly at an Airbnb over Halloween. And holy crap, that's good water. It sounds dumb to say, wow, that water is really good, but it's really good.
I'm going to be one of those guys for a second. The plastic flavor that we've all had shoved into our faces for the past, decades, however long it's been. There's this thing called microplastics, AJ. It's making you unhealthy. It's probably the reason that I won't go there. But just having cold water, this doesn't taste like garbage. It's worth the $1 if you need to take some water with you. I like it. Can we get...
Is that the
Liquid
sparkling
Death?
kind or the non-sparkling kind?
This is what they call the still mountain water because I don't know about you. I like my regular water. I don't need my water to sparkle like soda. Maybe I will someday.
It's a thing in Europe. Like every office water cooler has hot, cold, and sparkling. It's how they do it.
I'm jealous. So
I got a little hooked on it, honestly.
Absolutely.
Now, we also have a full drink penalty on the show. And since I don't want to cash a whole beer at once, I do have liquor on hand. Before I show the audience what I've got for my liquor, what do you have for yours tonight, Joe? Oh, you got Jaeger. Okay, so you're doing a shot of Jaeger.
The old standby, well, let's just say when this bottle comes out, you have to pry it from my cold, drunk hands.
See, you don't hate yourself, so you're better than me.
Depends
because
what day it is.
If you recall, like on a previous episode, I had this stuff called, it was like protein alcohol. Remember that?
I do remember that.
It was something awful, or it was like 20 grams of protein and 8% alcohol or something. It was just
I still
god-awful
don't know
shit.
why you want to live in a world where you want to mix your beer with your protein shake. Like,
I don't.
I get it. You're trying to get your gains, AJ. You're trying to build up some bulk. You know, maybe you want to be larger on the show than you have been for a while. But I just don't understand. Why would you want to mix those two things together? Those two things don't go together.
They don't. I'm a sucker for a gimmick, though, so I had to try it to find out. And you're absolutely right. It's putrid. Speaking of putrid, here's my penalty drink for the night.
You hate yourself.
Chicago Classic.
I'm just throwing it right back at you the way that it came at me. Like, you hate yourself tonight, don't you? We could have just had Jack.
You know,
and
no one who drinks Malort loves themselves. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Chicago that this is like a thing there, but good God, is it terrible? Like, do they actually like put cigarettes out in the liquor, or is it just a byproduct of the process? Because if that don't taste like a dirty ashtray that's been pissed in, I don't know what does.
I'm told that the process of making good whiskey involves lighting the barrels on fire and then steeping the booze in it. So maybe some of our favorite whiskeys that we thought, well, you know what, this has a really smoky flavor. Maybe we were actually serious. So that might be part of the mix for the Malort, but I've never had Malort and enjoyed it. So if somebody wants to tell me what I'm not doing right, please let me know. Around here, there's a thing called Stag Beer. You're familiar with Stag Beer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's the hometown favorite because that is Budweiser, Bud Light, whatever people want to drink in their own free time is their business. But a few miles south, it's a known tradition to have a Stag Beer with a pickle in it. I also don't get that.
Yes.
But
pickleback, yep.
Better than Malort. I'll say that much.
All right. I didn't want to confuse my liquid death with my good old plain old came from a plastic bottle first and out of my city tap water first. Ice water.
Gotta love that city water.
Hey man, as long as it's cold, it still tastes good.
Right. You asked me to go through these rules and you jumped around, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. You hear Trek No Babble, you drink water. You hear the captain's rank, well, you got to get more drink booze. Anytime some kind of thing happens, take a drink. If you see someone drinking, you drink. See drink, do drink, always. And before we get to my favorite, the wild card, anytime we violate the Prime Directive, you got to finish your drink. Still not sure how that works on the original series because we didn't have the Prime Directive on the original series, but what did we say last time? It's the standing order, whatever that happens to be.
They did have something that became the Prime Directive. Like they referenced it in Strange New Worlds. They said it was like General Order 1 or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I think we can say that if there's a reason that the Prime Directive exists, it's probably because Kirk did something. So if one of those things happen, then I think that counts.
Didn't that actually come up in like I think like an episode of Voyager or something with like the temporal police or whatever, where they actually like said Kirk was a menace and the Prime Directive was created directly because of him?
Speaking of things that, proof that I hate myself, I have been seriously just trying to watch all of Voyager. I'm up to season 6. It's not all bad. It's not all bad.
It's not all bad. No, I've been chewing through the Delta Flyers podcast. Are you familiar?
I am familiar. Haven't sat through it because I wanted to get through Voyager first, but it's interesting to hear those voices together. It's similar to when you get your Next Generation cast back together and everybody gets excited. Hearing those two voices together, it sounds fun to me. It's interesting. It's only missing a few things, and it's the other people that are always on that show. I'm waiting for, listen to the Delta Flyers podcast, and all of a sudden Commander Chakotay has a message for everyone. Like, if that happens, I'm down. I'm there.
They get them sometimes. They do. You got to be a paid member on their Patreon to get the bonus material, and the bonus material is interviews with cast and crew.
You want to tell
for those who
everybody
aren't familiar with the
about
Delta
your
Flyers
Patreon?
podcast, let's. I'm going to show for the Delta Flyers real fast, just so people know what the hell we're talking
Do it right
about.
now.
So, Delta Flyers is one of these COVID projects because actors couldn't do anything. So, the actors who played Harry Kim and Tom Paris started an episode by episode watch along, not a watch along, but a review of each episode of Voyager. So they've gotten through now the entire series. So from episode 1 to season 7, episode 26, whatever that last episode was called, Endgame, I think. They've watched them all and they comment on all of them. And then they do, if you're a paying member of their Patreon, they do get like either the script writer or Rick Berman or, they've gotten Kate Mulgrew, they've gotten Robert Beltran, they've gotten Tim Russ, they've gotten Robert Picardo, they've got Ethan Phillips. Is that right? Yeah.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, they've gotten, I think, everybody, actually. They even got, not Rosario Dawson, come on. Who plays B'Elanna Torres? It's Roxanne Dawson or something like that? It's Roxanne something.
I'm going to give it to you, AJ. Just get through this one. It's fine.
Just keep rolling, yeah. Anyway, yeah, they've gotten like every primary cast member except for Jerry Ryan. Jerry Ryan has not appeared on the show yet. So, but it's entertaining. And then they're continuing now with a DS9 rewatch, and they've got Armin Shimmerman, famously as Quark, and Jadzia Dax herself, Terry Farrell.
Wow. Talk about one of those characters that, yeah, they had a reason in the story to write her out, but that is... I would put her up there with Troy. For the good that's in Deep Space Nine, she's up there with Troy. Like, you could argue, what does she do? But when she's not there, it's kind of annoying. Like, yes, she matters. She contributes to the cast. She's funny. She has her moments. And people liked her. And then they just got rid of her one day. And that sucks if you're a fan. But I really do. I hope we don't draw a Deep Space Nine episode tonight. I've tried many times. I'm not a fan. I think I'm more a fan of individual characters than I am the overall story of Deep Space Nine. The first half of that series is fine. And then when they get into the prophets and Sisko becomes like spiritual and they start talking about the wormhole and the priestess lady goes insane, when you get to that part of the series, you've lost me.
That's pretty late. That, like, the insane priestess you're talking about, that's like season 7. That's impressive, man. A lot of people, like, DS9 is like the show that didn't get a lot of love and praise when it came out because it was such a departure from the Next Generation, which was beloved. Well, eventually.
But it was a good experiment.
To find its footing.
It was a good first try at just shove everybody into a small space and make it about the characters, not about the ship flying through space and the people that they find. You know, that was interesting.
And make it serialized. That was a big, big risk back in the days of, syndicated TV where people could just tune in and out and, get a story going from week to week. Like, that was crazy. But I think DS9 plays better now than any of the other classic series because of that. Now that you can binge it, serialized storytelling is all the rage. So it's funny that you say that. Actually, most people say that, like most Trek series, it takes a couple seasons to find its footing and then it really gets going. You're saying that once it finds its footing, that's when you don't like it.
Yeah.
Hot take. Okay. All right.
I look forward
to
you convincing me
if we draw
that I'm
a
missing
DS9
something.
episode, we'll continue this topic. If we draw DS9, we'll continue this topic. But otherwise, we'll hold that for another show.
I see Mimar in the chat. I see
Mimar,
Kale
good to see you tonight.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you've got your bevies because it's time to party. All right, AJ.
Yeah.
I don't know how to show this on screen,
quick rundown
but
of how this is going to work.
Hit me.
Yeah, so we're gonna show a chopped up feed. So it's not going to have any sound. It's just going to have enough frames so you watching along at home on your own Paramount Plus or Blu-ray player can follow along with where we're at in our watch along. but we are not streaming the episode for you. So you got to find it yourself, or just be entertained by our banter and drink along with us when we say that there's a drinking penalty. One thing I want to know from the chat right now, I want to know who's got their beverages ready. I want to know what you're drinking and who's drinking along with us. I'm perfectly fine drinking alone or, with Joe, but the more the merrier, right? I'm just bummed because I never got a breathalyzer that works. We actually each bought breathalyzers to try to measure how good of a job we did per episode, but
we did.
I'm apparently always drunk, even when I don't have any alcohol in me.
I'm telling you, you should have kept that in your pocket, like anytime, like if anything ever happens, like before the officer has a chance to say anything, just be like, "Hang on a second, I got it." See, I'm good. We'll try mine.
See, I wish.
You want to do it again?
I wish you were local because I could make a joke about a celebrity around here, but you wouldn't get it.
Hey-o.
Our local meteorologist on Thanksgiving night was doing 70 and a 35 with a .244 blood alcohol content and hit the telephone pole. It was all captured on police dash cam.
Ooh, not good.
Yeah. And the news just came out this week that she's getting her job back and she was only fined $375. All other charges were dropped. So if you're on TV, apparently you can have triple the legal limit, going highway speeds in the rain on a holiday night, hit a telephone pole so hard that it actually collapses the power lines. And $375, you're off the hook. It's all good.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. That's why my car isn't even here. It's waiting at the shop for an oil change and brake pads tomorrow, so I can't possibly get a DUI tonight unless I steal a car first.
Gail says, this may be a bad idea for me because I'm at work. It's not until you're in the middle of the end of your day that you realize someone else on the other side of the planet is in the middle of their day, and it's tomorrow. So,
I mean,
once again, Gail, tell me how we did.
If you just want to yeah, I mean, if weed is legal there, just pop an edible. That'll be your way of playing along there, Kale. You just take a nibble every time.
It'll build up over time. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
Well, AJ, you can't see this, but I'm spinning the wheel of the Dabo table. Would you like to know what we landed on tonight?
Ooh, yeah. Okay, let's see what we got. Hopefully something classic. I don't want new track.
That would be the original series, my friend. Congratulations,
all right,
AJ.
What do we got?
This is. Let's talk about this first, okay? Rule number 6 down there is a wild card, and
oh yes,
we're not supposed to know what we're getting into necessarily. But then again, there's no rules with the wild card. But since this is original series and this is the first episode we've done, what do you think sounds good? I'm thinking something Kirk, something Spock, something McCoy. Maybe tonight our wild card is fascinating. Sound good?
Let's go for it.
We're going
Let's
for
go
it
for
tonight.
It. Yep.
All right. One more spin.
I'm documenting it now, though. I have an idea for the next original series wild card because I will forget. So that's why I'm saying it now. Next time we do an original series episode, I'm going to do a wild card for every time McCoy says something racist about Vulcans.
Wow. Let's just not make that a kill your drink kind of rule. One more spin. Let's see. I'm doing original series now. What season are you looking for, AJ? You looking for season 2, season 1, season 3? I don't know why I said it in that order.
2.
Okay. You can't make this up. I wish I could. And somebody out there is going to say that we're lying about this. So remind me next time to make this visible so that everybody knows I'm 100% serious. We're not just doing season 2 tonight. We are doing season 2, episode 4, Mirror, Mirror.
Oh, tell me
feel
this is
like,
the Mirror Universe episode.
Yes, I need to flip
tell
my
me
camera.
This is evil Spock.
I think we're going to get evil Spock here. I don't know if this is coming through the way I want it to, but yeah, this is awesome.
Fantastic.
Well
Fan-friggin-tastic.
played, everyone. I don't have the soundboard pulled up, but priority 1 message is coming through right now. Okay, this is going to be a good one. I have something to say about this one. You know what? Truly, this might be the first episode of the original series that I was exposed to. I think I've said that before about something else because I remember something. I remember the first time I saw the original series was well after Next Generation was out, because it was one of those midday on the weekend things and everything was in syndication. And I didn't understand why it was Star Trek, but it looked different. But I understood that Next Generation was not the first Star Trek. I knew there was an original series. I knew about those characters. You know, Kirk and Spock, McCoy, they're kind of like Freddy Krueger. You don't have to watch Nightmare to know who Freddy Krueger is. I knew what this was, but I'd never seen it. But when I think about the first episode that I remember watching, I think it was this one. Because I remember being extremely confused about a line Kirk says in the episode about we're on their ship and they're on our Enterprise. So I knew it was a weird Twilight Zone evil world thing. I understood that much, but I don't know why. This one just stands out to me as one of my first classic Trek memories.
Oh, Kale's in the chat trying to derail us right now. He's throwing shade at Freddy Krueger. He's saying it's probably better if you don't.
Well, if you're talking about the remake, absolutely, I agree. Don't watch that. AJ can tell you all about that.
Yeah, we did that episode. Kale, have you tuned into an episode of the Fright Lab?
You should. You can find that at frightlabpodcast.com or thefrightlab.com. I expect you to tune in, sir.
Joe's on it, by the way. You should probably let people know.
I am? I know a guy. I know a guy who really loves horror movies, and this other guy that records it and makes it sound awesome and also likes horror movies. Yeah, that's me. Surprise. Congratulations. And thank you, Kale. Thank you for listening.
We are so terrible about promoting our own stuff. It's crazy.
It is. We just expect everybody to just chime in and give us that sweet Patreon money, which I know you guys are finally on Patreon after all this time. You listened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is exactly the sort of scintillating content that might show up on a paid tier at some point if we decide to do more of these. Who knows?
Oh, congratulations.
Probably not. I'll do this I drink for free anyway.
Yeah, but
seems wrong to charge people to watch me drink.
It's an entire meme on the internet, didn't you know?
But hey, I'm getting a little thirsty here, so we should probably get an episode going here. What do you say?
I think it's time. I'm going to get this queued up for you. And let's get
James T's ready.
James T is ready. Come on.
In fact, is this from this episode? I don't know. There's always Maniacal Kirk has showed up in a few, so I don't know if this background is from this episode, but damn, could it be?
Well, say the word, AJ. I'm about to hit play on my side. Why don't you give us a 5-second countdown here?
All right, counting down in 5, 4, 3. That was the old TV count in.
Hey, you did it right, and I understood.
Where they're just like hanging out with Roman-looking people. Wait, this is the start of the episode.
Yes.
Why does it seem like we came in at the end of another episode?
It feels that way, right? Does that count as truck no babble?
Oh, he did say captain, by the way.
He did. Get more
Rank
drink.
is drank. That counts. Said captain again.
He did. Oh, there's two.
Man, oh man, good thing I got the tall boy here.
Woo!
I always love Kirk's casual green uniform.
I'm a fan of Picard having the what's the proper term for it? His away uniform with the gray underneath the jacket.
Oh yeah, where he had his little jacket, his windbreaker on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what a great little effect right there.
Oh man. Haven't you people ever heard of seizures?
By the way, were they just completely oblivious to the fact that they were using a Nazi salute there, or was that on purpose?
This is that time, right? Where who's the most evil
Captain.
person who has ever existed, right? It's the Nazis.
Yeah.
So even referencing what the Nazis did was a bad idea. And yes, I'm saying
I
Nazis.
was gonna say 20 years on, that is not nearly enough time. Captain. Jeez. Oh my God. Spock, you're killing us. That looks like the comfiest uniform. I mean, not with an agonizer on it, of course, but
Right.
he's basically in a bathrobe. He's in a bathrobe and a t-shirt. I mean, that's a nice way to go to work.
See, what is this? Like the crew has to carry around like a stun gun because just in case I need to punish you.
I do wonder okay, so if they're all carrying them, why did Spock need his?
In case he messes up and then he needs to get punished.
Now,
You can see him not reacting at all, just like.
now the feed that we've got showing here in our show, this is the unremastered version, is that right?
Correct. This is
All right, because I'm watching the
this is my most
pristine
brilliant
remaster from Paramount Plus.
DVD. Second stage. However many different ways I have to encode this so that it doesn't get you kicked off the internet. Starring William Shatner. Also starring Leonard Nimoy. Why can't they just say starring and then show everybody's name? And
Right.
DeForest Kelly as Dr. McCoy.
All right, I got a little bit ahead, so I'm waiting to see that planet. There we go.
There we go.
I will say I do like the light hand that they did on the remaster.
Agreed.
It's no Star Wars special edition.
When we get to Next Generation, dude, the Blu-rays look good. That was a captain. Jeez.
Captain.
Not gonna lie, Leonard Nimoy with the beard and that kind of what part of the world in history can we call these modified uniforms? But he's kind of a badass.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Nichelle Nichols clearly didn't miss too many core workouts either, so good on her.
Nope. That's where the volume comes from, dude.
Seriously,
right here.
Seriously, what job do you have to get these pajama uniforms? I want that job.
Work from home.
Okay, hot take. McCoy kind of sucks as a doctor.
Does he, though? You got to remember, he's not a doctor as much as he's a surgeon. He's both, but like his specialty is surgery.
Damn it, Joe. He's a doctor, not a surgeon.
Does this all count as babble?
Well, that's a great freeze frame.
Yep.
I will say, for the 1960s, this was incredibly forward thinking. The idea that they had a talking computer, like the fact that they had a computer at all, and they were like, a voice interface, that's going to be a thing.
That's what the cast says about Roddenberry. Is he really just wanted to show his vision of the future.
Okay, that wasn't nearly as cringy as I thought it was going to be.
It was getting there. They were setting the groundwork for something, which is very famous in the history of television. Great shot.
So this universe is full dag bad evil, but they're not racist. Although Sulu is taking a run at her, so that's...
Captain.
Oh, look at that. He got a comfier chair.
Oh, nice.
All right. Good for you, Jim.
Dude's upgrading.
Captain. There we go. We're not doing enough drinking in this episode.
Right?
Oh,
Now,
how fun.
now just imagine that there's two guys outside of the view that are just opening and closing the doors.
Right? The original series was so up and down in quality, you know? Like, when it was good, it was good. But, oh my God, some of these episodes are just unwatchable.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm just like drinking.
Right.
Just because.
I feel like I need a straw and just hold the cup here until I'm done with it. Do you notice the dirt in the frame?
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself.
Nice.
He did say captain, by the way.
Ah, jeez. I thought I was good to go. I need a refill. So if they blow up the planet, does that count as Prime Directive, even though they're in the opposite universe?
I mean, hell, I think we got to invert the rule. He's doing all this stuff wrong.
Damn.
So if he's not interfering with another culture, I think that's a violation of their prime directive. And I would count like eliminating a whole planet as pretty interfering. Okay, that was hilariously awesome.
Yep. That's a great.
He must have just had like a blood capsule waiting in his mouth. That was incredible. He did say captain, by the way.
I like
And
evil.
scene.
I like evil Chekhov.
When is he recording this?
It leaves a log in
The
his
dude is
head.
being held at phaser point, but there's this voiceover going on that he himself has recorded.
It's his coping mechanism.
Although I guess it makes as much sense as reality TV shows where you see it happening and there's cutaways to interviews about what's actually happening. So
I would like to point out that this episode has been 100% captain's rank.
apparently you have to work in your pajamas until you get respect.
I got a promotion today. Was that where your pants came from?
This is entertaining as a story, but there's no way in hell that this universe would function like this. It's like the way the Klingons were represented as such a one-note race for so long. Like,
Right.
they're all just bloodthirsty warriors. Who the hell's taking time to develop warp speed travel and, writing operas and cooking food?
I'm counting this as babble.
Yes.
I'm
This
counting
is
this as
babble.
babble. This is just blah, 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 blah.
I love how in 10 seconds they just got the computer to invent how to hop universes with a transporter.
1.21 gigawatts.
I feel like this is also future proofing. Like, basically, it's Chat GPT.
It's very binary in its responses, right? Because it's only responding to yes or no questions.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of people are we, Jim? You're assholes.
Love the continuation there where they mentioned Pike.
Yep. Just keep it going. I need a damn refill.
I'm so far behind. But how many times did they say captain in this scene? I lost track.
I'm not even counting anymore. It's become my trigger word.
Here's that line you're talking about.
Yep. He's drunk. Where are my pajamas? Some kind of transposition.
Oh,
you
damn it.
bastard.
We're going to get a wild card.
We almost got 2 out of that one.
There we go. There we go. Spark coming through in the clutch. Now, is that beer or is that a shot?
It's a shot for me. I'm going to pause in 3
Shit.
seconds to get a refill.
Wait, you got to wait for the commercial break. We got a commercial break coming up.
But I'm almost empty over here.
Oh, interesting. I just found out that my earbud controls playback in the browser.
Nice.
Not really, because now I'm out of sync.
It's okay. The commercial break's coming up. Miranda can't take him
Pirate
seriously.
Assassins are amazing. Miranda, please. Oh, God. Oh, Spock better not be fascinated
You're kidding
anymore
me.
tonight. Oh. So that's the taste of dying inside.
That is the taste.
Now, in Discovery, aren't they against the Vulcans?
That's before this, right? Is Discovery
Yeah.
before Strange New Worlds?
Kind of concurrent. Definitely before Kirk's time on the Enterprise. They don't even salute right.
We're getting so much Captain out of this, it's not even funny.
Now I can't stop but look at the damn pirate sashes. Thanks, Miranda. Now I want a sash. I thought capes were the pinnacle of fashion, but I think the sash might really take it.
You need some spats with that cape too, AJ?
I mean, if you're going to go, you got to go big.
It is such a reality to me watching these old episodes how often they were really hiding the fact that he was missing a finger.
You know, I never noticed that until I found out years later. I'm like, oh my God, they really did.
Yeah.
All right, we got to be coming up on a commercial break here, don't we?
I would think so.
I do love that the captain basically has a concubine waiting for him.
Is that what she is?
I mean, she's got a sash, so apparently she's an officer.
And she's kind of sassy about it.
But she was just waiting in his quarters and feeding him drinks. I mean, I feel like this is what everyone assumed he was doing with Janice Rand.
Also, by the way, I missed mine. I don't know if you did, but sea drink.
Oh,
See, here's the problem. We've been spending so much time focusing on Captain that we're not following the other rules very well.
now if the drink just persists and remains in the shot, that doesn't mean we have to keep drinking, right?
No.
Captain?
Bastard. I'm literally over here pouring miniature shots of Jägermeister because I ran out of booze. I hope this is entertaining. I think I'm very funny.
Okay, there. Pause. Commercial break. You can recharge. It's cool. It's okay, Joe. I got this.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, AJ. There's the break.
I'm a seasoned podcast host. I can fill.
We got out of sync there for just a moment, but hey, it's fine. Man.
We got this.
It is. It
Where
is.
where is your stash? You're in your new place. Tell me you've at least got like a mini fridge down there or something.
So I'm not technically downstairs yet. The kitchen is less than halfway across the house this way. But the mini fridge is available, and if it wasn't such a small room, I would have it in here. But with the microphones and the podcasting, you got to make it as quiet as possible. So trying to keep it under control. I have considered setting up a liquor shelf over here because you don't always need a beer. Sometimes you need whiskey, and I don't want to walk that far. So that's one of the things I'm thinking about doing. I'm really close to actually like getting this room done. I don't know about you, but if you move into a place after living somewhere for a very long time, it's kind of frustrating. It's like, I don't want to decorate. I don't want to set things up. I've already done that one time. I don't want to do it again. And then you have a lot of fun, hanging up pictures of your friends. So there you go. Let me go get a refill, dude. Yeah. Talk to the people. See how the people are doing. See how drunk everybody else is. That's interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've got Miranda commenting in the chat a bunch. So let's see exactly what's going on here. So, yes, okay, definitely pirate sashes. Yeah, Miranda, this is a rough one. Okay, this is the best part about Trek ABV is we don't know what the episode's going to be, so we don't know what rules are going to apply. But they are pretty uppity, so you get a lot of captain this and commander that. Someone's always being sassy. There's always sass being thrown around, and someone's getting called to the carpet by rank. So, yeah, this is a great one. I didn't know that Spock was going to be an absolute legend on this episode. We already got our full drink penalty with fascinating on our wild card. We got captain after captain after captain after captain. Oh, this is so. For everybody else watching, which there's only one other person. I actually know Miranda in real life. I'm dating her. So she is not versed in classic Trek. She's pretty much just on here because I'm on camera and she thinks I'm pretty. So not a woman of good taste, but I like her anyway. This, Miranda, is peak classic Trek. This is one of the absolute best subplots that the original series introduces, this idea that there's a completely mirror universe, but everybody is switched. So all the bad guys are good and all the good guys are bad, and Spock has a Fu Manchu, and that's how you know he's evil. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And if you watch future series, they go back to this thing over and over and over again because it's too much fun to have a whole universe of assholes running the show. So yeah, you got a great episode. There are some really campy, stupid episodes of the original series, but this might be the best one. Like it's camp in all the best ways. So yeah, you tuned into a good one tonight for sure. For my part, I would have to say, I don't know when you tuned in, but we were talking earlier before we went live with the episode of the original series when we were just talking beforehand, setting up the rules. We were talking about Deep Space Nine, and there is an entire subplot in there. There are multiple episodes that take place in the mirror universe. And it's just like this. They use the transporter to just beam back and forth. So, it's not magical enough that you can just get from point A to point B in a split second, like from a ship down to a planet or vice versa. No, apparently you can just jump universes too. And it just works because why not? It's sci-fi. You can make up anything you want. So yeah, this is great stuff. I do wish we had a couple more of the rules coming in, though. We haven't gotten to some kind of because there's not a lot of sciencey stuff going on. Sea drink, we got one of those. That's not bad. We had one water because we had to explain the whole parallel dimension thing. Prime Director is probably not going to come in because the original series didn't really have it. A lot of these rules, to be honest, guys, we wrote these based around the idea that we were going to be doing pretty much all 90s era stuff. Like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, maybe Enterprise. Those series were much more fully fleshed out. So these rules kind of made a lot more sense because the formula of what made a Star Trek show feel like a Star Trek show had been cast. So apologies. Joe, how you doing? How you feeling?
It's warming up. Give me 13 seconds.
All right.
Keep
I don't
pandering.
have mine.
Yours didn't
What
work
Joe
anyway.
has, right. Yeah, for those who don't know, what Joe's got there is a $30 breathalyzer. And he's already had to refill. I'm still working on my first beer here. In fact, I feel like I should have to cash this because, you know what? Oh, second. Damn.
Didn't register. Must have done something wrong.
Oh, man. And here I am waiting with boozy breath.
Don't worry about it. We'll get it done.
It's all good. It's all good.
We're gonna hit it one more time. See what happens. It is possible to hit the wrong button and not get the results that you are desiring. I don't plan on driving tonight.
Joe.
Right. It's like an iPod. You only need one button.
One button and you fucked it up. That's impressive.
All right.
I think she's onto something, Joe. Miranda says you didn't blow hard enough.
That might be true. Maybe I should. I was trying to be comedically, embracing like the halfway point of the episode and just see like a progress report. Like, how are we doing? Like, do I need to call the Uber now and keep drinking, or do I need to like abandon the party before it's not good enough?
All right, I just cashed beer number 1. I feel like I'm not doing my job here. I'm falling way behind. What, did you not trust the last reading, or did that not work either? This is your third reading now, man.
That didn't work. I'm doing something wrong. I'm wondering if the batteries are low, and it's just like, nope, not doing it today.
Or maybe if you spend $30 on Amazon, you don't get a reliable device. That is also a possibility.
It's possible, and absolutely mine was working. Yours was the one having the problem, if you recall.
Mine works too good. I'm drunk all the time.
Dangerously drunk, if I recall, like a 1.18 or something like that.
Oh no, I was like 0.3 something. I think I still got it in my drawer.
Well, before I came back on camera, I was checking to make sure that the batteries were good, and it did say 0.05.
Okay.
So
that sounds plausible.
I'm going to say that's what it is, considering the 2 beers that I've had and the 4 or 5 shots of Jaeger total that I've had. No, I haven't had 4 or 5. I've had like 2. So 2 and 2. I've done 2 and 2. If you're behind, AJ, I'm disappointed, knowing what is nearby.
Because I'm drinking Malort.
That's right. I forgot about the damn Malort. What are we thinking so far about this episode? Number 1, this is a captain-heavy episode. We haven't had a lot of water. Heavy. We haven't had a lot of see drink, do drink. There's one of those usually. And we've had some kind of and a fascinating. At this point, this is just captain's rank as much as possible. We're waiting for somebody to violate the Prime Directive, and if we get that, it's going to be a fun evening. I don't know about you, but I'm going to have a good sleep tonight.
It's also going to be a clean sweep on the rules too, which would be awesome. But yeah, actually,
right,
when you walked back in, I was explaining how these rules were written around like the '90s era Trek. So a couple of these don't often apply to the original series.
Right, but
even the Technobabble was kind of a stretch in this one because they didn't really invent Technobabble back then. They didn't have it yet. They were still using real words instead of making words up.
Right.
All right, so we're on to beer number 2 here for me, and now things are getting a little spicy.
So this is beer number 3.
Now we're in the deep end. We're in the deep end. I've got Twitchy Imperial Stout. And if I can get it on camera, there we go. 9.25% ABV.
Oh, you're trying to catch up. I approve.
This is an aged eggnog. I'm sorry, aged on eggnog brulee coffee beans.
You got to stretch out when you say it like that, AJ. This is an aged eggnog.
I don't know. I didn't know there was such a thing as eggnog coffee beans, but apparently there are.
Talk with your teeth, AJ. This is an aged eggnog.
It's eggnog. It's aged on eggnog creme brulee.
Or,
coffee
wait, I'm
beans.
sorry. Even better, take your teeth out when you do this talk.
I can't do that anymore. I went and got them fixed.
Congratulations. They're
Yeah,
screwed
pull
in.
all you want.
right?
It's the one thing that's actually securely in my head.
Nice. What is it, like a big screw on the inside that just holds it in?
There is literally a screw that got bolted up into my skull, and then off of that screw is a tooth.
That
Yeah.
sounds awesome. That sounds like the way they should handle all of those situations. Are we ready to get back into this?
I'll finish it in 1 second here. It's a little unnerving, actually, because I'll tell you what, it's more solidly in my skull than any of my actual teeth are. It's really weird.
Is that why people? Tangent you didn't sign up for, everybody. Apologies if this is gross, but is that why people take the route of just having them all ripped out so that they can just have them screwed back in and then they're better than they've ever been? We can rebuild him.
They could, but that's not what happens. If you just get dentures, it's just a whole tray of teeth that just glues onto your gums. You don't get them all bolted in.
I don't want either one of these scenarios, honestly. But if I have to pick one, I'll take the screw them into my head.
By the way, this beer, not the best.
Well, you're in.
It'll do the job, but
you're in for at least 24 more minutes, my friend. Are you ready to get back into this?
I think we should.
All right, counting down in 3, a 2, a 1. Press play.
And we're at 26:08, right?
That's right.
Oh, see, I'm so confused because on the remastered version, the ship is spinning the opposite direction and the planet's a different color.
Just go with it.
I have the mirror of the mirror universe going on right now.
We came back from commercial.
Yeah.
Does that count as see, drink, do drink?
I think so. It's the same drink, but it's a new scene. Because it got spliced with.
They could have
commercial break.
refilled. How would we know?
Joe, I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to know when
did
she
she
said
say-
Tantalus Field.
I was going to ask, did she say, should I activate the tantalizer?
No, she did say Tantalus Field though, and I'm going to call that Technobabble.
Yep.
That's made up bullshit right there. By the way, when she said Tantalus Field, you know Kirk was thinking that was something kinky, right?
I was too, clearly.
It sounds like tantric, doesn't it?
No, that's a much more terrible band today. They used to be cool, though.
Dude, Creed's touring again. Can you believe that?
I believe it.
Is that Scott Stapp and a bunch of scrubs, or is that actually Alter Bridge with Scott Stapp fronting the band again?
Stand by, and I'll answer that question for you while watching this episode.
Okay, I get why, for the benefit of the audience, she has to explain what's going on with that thing. But makes no sense in universe, right?
It doesn't make sense in the other universe, which is where they are.
God. Isn't it crazy back in the 60s they were still using that softening filter every time women were on camera?
It's kind of goofy, right? Because William Shatner is notoriously shiny in this series.
Mm-hmm.
But then you cut to any of the women, like you said, or even like
She
Leonard
just took
Nimoy.
a drink. I'm going to take a drink for her.
See, drink, do drink. It counts.
By the way, am I just a heartless bastard If I was in a parallel universe and they said assassinate an entire planet, I'd be like, ain't my universe. I don't care. Okay.
Yeah, that's in
It's the
Alderaan
multiverse
territory.
problem.
No, that's an
It's the
Alderaan
multiverse
problem.
problem.
You don't go blowing up Alderaan and say, not my universe.
I don't know. They'd be dead already, so what's the difference?
I'm digging Nimoy with the beard.
That's clearly James doing the computer voice.
Yep.
Why don't our computers have lights like that? That'd be fun.
They used to. Now everything's a touchscreen. Does anybody ever call Mr. Spock by his title? Like, does anybody ever say Mr. Science Officer?
You know? Or Commander? No.
Because he's second in command, right? But he's the science officer.
By the way, what the hell kind of
Captain.
wound leaves a scar like that but doesn't kill you?
Captain. Damn it. There's two.
Well, no, he's not No. You have to call someone by their rank. You can't just say a rank.
You're right. You're right. I'm ahead, and I'm sorry. Oh, damn. Not the Vulcans. Anything but the Vulcans.
Dropping the V word. Okay, tell
Great
me
timing,
she's not
AJ.
a concubine.
I still don't know. Honestly. Because she says darling a lot.
Now, the weird thing is this is supposed to be more seductive than what she was already wearing as a uniform.
She's definitely, yes, because it's see-through, but she's definitely not a concubine because she said the words, I'm a little out of practice. I'm pretty sure the captain seduced someone on his crew and was like, go to my quarters and wait for me.
By the way, it is see-through, but all I can see through it is the underwear that she's clearly got on, so it's no more revealing than what she was wearing.
With modern Trek
I just can't help but think that they both probably have like smoker's breath and terrible body odor.
Do you care though in this situation?
Is it soft if I say yes?
It's appropriate for Captain Kirk. Nope. I am James T. Kirk. I'm feeling very differently about you right now. Even in another universe. This might be the most screen time spent with a character that has, at least up until this point, no real impact on the episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, if this was an episode of Next Generation, and they did this a few times, this would be the random person that the audience knows doesn't belong there, but the crew has no idea. But that's not what this is, right? But they've spent so much time with her and him. This isn't what we're waiting for, right? We're still waiting for the payoff of why is she here? Why are they spending so much time with her?
You know what I will give him credit for, though? He just said, like, you could be anything you want to be. Like, as misogynistic as a lot of this show is towards women, by modern standards, That was incredibly progressive.
Yes, especially for the 60s.
Yeah.
And she just said the words, "That's been a long time since you've kissed me like that." So clearly not a concubine. Like, does the captain actually have a spouse in this universe? And is Kirk now thinking about that? Like, what have I done wrong? All the green women, apparently. She's working for
She's
Spock.
still that nasty evil. She's still going to tantric field somebody. And yes, that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the tantric field. Oh, she just wanted to check out that ass one more time.
That's right.
She hates to see him go, but loves to watch him walk away.
How is there not a Bluetooth headset that matches Uhura's earpiece?
There's got to be, right?
You'd think so.
I mean,
but
I've got it right here. I've got it right here. All we need to do is just 3D print a thing that sticks off my ear.
I've seen the communicator, like the Bluetooth handset, but I haven't seen the Bluetooth the earpiece.
Yep. By the way, you got to love that they call it a Jeffries tube because Matt Jeffries was the guy who designed the Enterprise.
Yep.
Damn right, Sulu. There's a guy who's got his head on his shoulders. Lieutenant, there we go.
Yep.
That is the most casual looking security guard right there.
Yep.
He looks really primed and ready for action.
Even going as far as the knee-high boots, referencing the Gestapo.
Yeah.
Like, it's subtle, but it's there.
Oh no, he took his agonizer.
Spock has to have figured this out. Like, I know you're not you. Like, I want to get you out of here and get my captain back, so I kill the right man. I dig evil Spock. I'm sorry.
God, I love the music in this show. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
And it's repetitive
good.
too. They never did new music ever.
No.
Captain, god damn it.
Oh, the terrible stuntman.
Yep, you notice the stunt double?
If we had known that this was, if we had known this was original series, we totally could have done a wild card about the obvious and horrible stuntmen.
Get him!
He totally just grabbed him in the dick. You saw it.
100%.
What happened to Vulcan's like superhuman strength?
Alternate universe.
That'd be hilarious. That would be so hilarious if they were like weak as shit.
You notice he never went for the pinch or anything like that, right?
Right?
See, you missed an opportunity. If this was the Next Generation, somebody would have done the pinch to him.
Well, the neck pinch is super civilized. I feel like Vulcans in the Mirror Universe should just kick him in the dick.
Fair enough, right? I'll say it again. What is her purpose?
To be a pain in the ass, I think. Sulu was criminally underused on this show. All right, we got a commercial break. Pause.
He had his moments, right?
Dude, George Takei is a fucking treasure. He
Absolutely.
is a fucking treasure, man.
I really enjoy how this series, when people talk about this series and they talk about Gene Roddenberry, it was a creative person trying to show his vision of the future. And the purpose of that was everybody gets along. There is no class. There is no level. There is no I'm better than you. It's everybody working together, right? That's what he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yet Sulu still has these moments of just awkward badassery. The famous scene with the fencing, letting the dude ham it up a little bit. This is a really entertaining episode. And it's not just one person. It's everybody. And maybe it's as simple as we let them do their characters differently. But
dude, how much fun must it be as an actor to get to do that?
That I hear that's one of the most fun things to do is the actors get bored when they have to do the same thing. Giving them a reason to just do it differently is apparently very rewarding. And I'm enjoying this. What was the memo, right? They came in with the script like it's an alternate universe. Like, you're the bad guys now. Like, you're going to be horribly scarred. Somebody explained to him why he's scarred. And you're just going to be this sarcastic, like, horn dog bastard. Like, go have fun. Go ham it up, dude. We'll be here filming it. It'll be fine.
The other thing I noticed is there is no such thing as a security officer on the original Enterprise.
No.
That position became a thing by the time Next Generation was around. So not Mirror Universe kind of got a little bit more paranoid and suspicious.
So we've never talked about this.
Headcanon says they invented that position based on them coming back from the Mirror. Sorry, spoiler. They get back to their own universe.
Spoiler for the next 15 minutes, right? We've never talked about this on the show before, but the titles don't necessarily match the color of the uniforms in the original series. I know the captain and the officers wore the gold uniforms, and then there's all the jokes about the red shirt getting done in by whatever, but then blue
security and engineering,
wasn't just medical, right? It was science and medical.
So all the sciences.
Why did they flip it for Next Generation? Do you remember? Because I don't.
From red to gold and gold to red?
Yes.
I should know, but I don't.
Because all the security
it was never explained
officers
in the show. Never explained in the show.
Right. All the security officers and the general science officers, engineers, etc., they all became gold. And then it was truly just the captain and the officers that were red in Next Generation.
Okay, I'm gonna invent a headcanon here. And then I'll look it up and I'll see if it's true. remember they went to the Monster Maroons for the movies, where everybody just wore the maroon outfits
For the movie and Wrath of Khan. Yes. I remember that.
And on through Star Trek 6 and 7. All the original series era movies. That I love that movie, so don't you be talking shit about that movie.
It's a great movie. You can throw away 5 and just watch 6 and it'll be fine.
Well, that's why the trope was even number movies are trash and odd number movies are good, because you had Wrath of Khan, you had The Voyage Home, you had The Undiscovered Country, and then even on to The Next Generation, you had First Contact, and then you had Nemesis. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, all through the original series cast movies, everybody in the movies outside of the original motion picture got those maroon uniforms. And those things lasted all the way through the Enterprise C, if you recall, from yesterday's Enterprise and Next Generation. They just basically didn't wear the turtleneck anymore. They were just wearing the maroon thing instead. So I feel like probably what happened is they went through their maroon phase for about like 55 years or something. And then when they came out of that and decided to go back to colors, they just left command with the red, and then security got the gold for some reason.
Who knows?
Like, I feel like someone in Star Trek was like, you know what? Maroon seems like a badass color. I want to follow maroon. So we're going to have to let security take the gold ones.
Oh, that might be a real reason then, right? Like somebody got promoted and said, no, I'm not giving up the red shirt. So you're going to have to change the qualifications.
Okay, why did Star Trek uniform colors change?
What's the answer, AJ?
They're getting...
Don't leave the audience in suspense.
This is the problem with Star Trek. There's too many nerds. There's too many nerds in Star Trek fandom, because I want a simple explanation, but they're going into like, well, the costumes changed because materials of the 1960s versus the 1980s.
Get to the point.
It's all the behind the scenes stuff is what I'm saying. Like, they're not giving an in-universe explanation.
Right. Tell me why in the original series, the color scheme was X, and on the Next Generation, the color scheme was Y. And
okay, so the real world explanation first. I haven't gotten to the in-universe one yet, so I'm kind of stalling for time.
I need the in-universe one, AJ.
All right, well, I know exactly who to blame for the real world explanation. Captain Picard. Patrick Stewart said he didn't look good in yellow, so they gave him red, which means they had to switch everybody else.
So the answer to the question is Captain Picard was such a badass, he refused to wear the gold uniform. And thus said to the entirety of Starfleet, my name is Jean-Luc Picard, change everything. And they did, for some reason.
Yeah, and
that has to be it, right?
Well, Reddit says there is no in-universe answer.
You know whose fault it is? Boothby.
And then the other thing was
the damn
saying
groundskeeper was like, red looks like garbage. Change your uniforms to gold. Now I want to start color correcting old series episodes. Go for it.
So in Wrath of Khan, everyone had the maroon uniform, but they all had that little strappy thing.
Agreed.
And there were different colors on the strap and on the turtleneck. And that apparently is where Scotty, for example, and Sulu started wearing gold on that part of their uniform. And then that persisted into the Next Generation era, where the entire uniform became those sorts of colors. Because Saavik in Wrath of Khan, for example, had red, which was like cadet or something. So they were already changing the colors up as of Star Trek II. but there's no in-universe explanation as far as why, other than maybe they made the switch in universe when they went to the all maroon uniforms and just had decorations along the shoulder. It's a pretty piss poor explanation, to be honest.
When the real world explanation is cooler than anything that was explained and nobody explained it, headcanon's your only answer, right? Like there's no reason why, but it just is different now. Like there has to be a reason. There has to be a way they could explain away that change, that style. Like somebody has to have a reason. It can't just be because we got tired of killing the red shirt.
Well, Reddit doesn't know, and if Reddit doesn't know, it doesn't exist.
Ain't that the truth? Actually, Reddit's been...
So otherwise, we're talking a Screen Rant article, and Screen Rant is never correct. So let's just forget that nonsense.
Screen Rant? No! All right, you ready to finish this thing up?
Likely a decision made by Starfleet to move away from the negative association with red uniforms, a.k.a. red shirt deaths. I don't think in universe Starfleet was like, man, we got a lot of people in red uniforms dying. Let's put them on the people that don't die.
Right, because that would have been a complete color change, right? You would have changed from red to green or something like that. Has there ever been a green? Yes. Deep Space Nine Voyager had green, and it was the Doctor. God, I'm head canoning all of this now, and I don't understand it, and that's okay. You ready to go back?
We saw in this episode. We saw in this episode Kirk in his casual uniform with the nice wrap over V-neck kind of style.
Yeah.
That's green. That is straight up green. That is not gold.
100%.
So apparently he got to be casual. Yeah. Casual commanders wear green.
Count us back in, AJ.
I'm going to count us back in 5, 4, 3.
Where did they go?
Okay, I thought that thing was going to be like awful. If you just blip out of existence, that's not really so bad, right?
I think that depends on your perspective.
If you're literally here,
he's doing the fencing thing again. Captain.
This is the worst action I've ever seen. Oh my God, this is bad. Okay.
He's waking up.
Oh, they're teaching the robot empathy. I know it was hot on set, but DeForest Kelley always looked sickly to me. I feel like everybody has like a prime age, like their features are designed to be a certain age. I think he was an old man in a young person's body for a while. Yep, that damn tantric field, you know?
Yep.
She's like, wait, I can count. He's like, well, we're kind of holding a spot for somebody. Okay,
Everybody has a
really got some
sidearm
good
and a
moments in this
side knife.
episode.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna call that a little bit of technobabble. If you're gonna explain how a transporter works to me,
Yeah, I'm giving you a little bit of that.
when does Scotty ever call him Jim?
It's rare.
I feel like it wouldn't take that much engineering on Scotty's part to figure out how to make 5 people transport instead of 4. Kirk's probably just like, stage 5 clinger. Ugh.
Never mind. Yep. That's a fast minute. I have a clock too,
Hello,
Mr.
Spock is
Spock.
stonewalling him. Scotty is speaking plain truth.
Yep.
Get in the fucking transporter, dude. Okay, so they allegedly arrived here because the mirror universe counterparts were beaming up at the exact same moment. How do they have any knowledge that their counterparts are beaming up at this exact same moment?
I think they're doing a calculation, like figuring out a way to jump between universes, like you said. The computer just figured it out.
Okay, I do love the fact that the transporters had a different effect, but they just got it backwards.
Agreed.
Because when they beamed into the mirror universe, it started out gold and turned purple. So it should have started out purple and turned gold, not vice versa.
It was the 60s, AJ. We did the best we could, and we only made the effects one time.
It's actually a pretty damn good effect for a TV show in the 60s.
Agreed.
Cue pithy music now.
in the Twilight Zone.
Spock with the last word. I love how their episode ended up with them busting chops.
Yep.
Holy crap! I had no idea.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm about to say?
I'm waiting for it.
Trials and Tribulations, Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
I always wondered what episode the footage from the original series came from where Sisko was talking to Kirk. That's the scene.
Yep. Say it. Oh, he didn't say it. Seriously, the top of this
Gene Coon.
episode. Yep. The top of this episode. Man.
Dude. What a great episode. Okay, that's a great episode of the original series.
Bravo. Still one of my favorites. I said it earlier. It's one of my earliest memories of the original series. And yeah, that was some good Trek right there.
Okay. For the uninitiated, if you haven't watched any of the original series prior to this or haven't watched a lot of it, I feel like that was a perfect cross-section of the original series, right? You had all of like the campy performances. You had the over-the-top premise with the parallel universe. You got the banter between Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. That's okay. I just wrote the Triple X parody of Star Trek right there.
Congratulations, AJ.
We need that transporter accident. Instead of a Tuvix, we need a cock.
Wow. Just a walking cock. And that's going to get you thrown off YouTube.
Yep.
According to this, 0.58. So I'm going to say that the 0.53 I mentioned earlier, about 20 minutes ago, was all that front loading and all of the captain babble we had in the beginning of the episode. But then again, this is as accurate as a $30 purchase off Amazon can be.
Well, check that number. I believe there's a 0 in front of that, right? Like it's
correct. 0.058. Excuse me, I'm not dead.
Yeah. Yeah, if your blood is 0.5% alcohol and you're still living, I have no explanation. Speaking of things for which I have no explanation, what episode is this scene from? Our wallpaper, our background here, like I thought for sure that was going to be out of this episode. I thought we were going to see, see Mira Kirk just pulling off a big old bottle.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was an episode where he was doing it as a self-defense mechanism. It might have even been one of the episodes of Khan.
Was there ever another Mirror Universe episode in the original series, or was this just a one-off?
I think this is a one-off. I don't remember another episode.
Because it's hard to tell because I feel like there were at least 3 or 4 good episodes where Kirk acted maniacal. And apparently they're not all Mirror Universe episodes, which is a little weird.
No, he did it as a coping mechanism. It was a manipulation, right? He was trying to fool people into thinking he was a crazy person. Just adapting. It's The Enemy Within is the episode you're looking for this background. Because it was a lot of drinking to like hold back whoever was trying to take over the ship. He's like, I'm going to drink you under the table. And then he does. Yeah. That's some good. That's some good Trek, dude. That's a good episode. I go back to the
Alright.
original series every now and then, and like I said earlier, I've been pushing myself through Voyager. I really want to get through the original series again because it's been a while, and I enjoy it. I enjoy Next Generation the most. I can probably be talked into Deep Space Nine again. I don't want to, but the roulette wheel of Dabo will pick the episode for us the next time on Trek ABV.
I really hope it's something early season of whatever series it is, because that's when you get the weird stuff where they're still trying to figure out what they are.
Yep.
The characters aren't quite solidified yet. The writing style is a little uneven.
First,
You get all
second,
kinds of
or
weird stuff.
third episode of Deep Space Nine, I don't remember which one, is still one of the most hilarious scenes I've ever seen in sci-fi television, because
It's Q, isn't it?
No, it's the conference. It's a diplomat. Somebody's visiting, and Cisco figures out that there's going to be an assassination attempt, and they have an awkwardly long slow motion scene of him trying to dive across the room. So you get the whole no, and then it's silent for longer than it should be. I mean, when we get to that episode, I'm calling the wild card now. If it ever comes up on the wheel, the wild card is drink until Cisco stops moving in slow motion. You'll be dead.
Waterfall. Okay.
But that's the way we're going with it.
Okay. Yep. I dig it. Look at you with your liquid death. All right, I'll take a water toast.
Yeah.
Cheers, my friend.
Yeah, after 3 beers and a little bit of Jaeger, I could use some water and probably some leftovers.
All right, so let me catch you up on. We'll talk a little like current Trek news real quick, just to round this episode out. So
yeah, what's going on?
we've got Discovery season 5 coming up. It's going to be the final season of Star Trek Discovery. We still don't know when we're going to get season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And we don't have a trailer yet. They just published on Trek Culture today a snippet of an audio interview they did with Mike McMahon, the showrunner and the show creator for Star Trek Lower Decks. Which
One
of the
greatest
modern Treks
seasons of television ever this past season?
So, well, like that kind of, I think I know what your answer is going to be. Which of the modern Treks are you going to miss the most? Because you got Picard, you got Lower Decks, you got Strange New Worlds, you got Discovery. And I feel like there's a fifth one that I'm forgetting. Oh, Prodigy. Star Trek Prodigy.
Prodigy is probably the correct answer because how good it was. You have told me over and over again to revisit Discovery, and I've resisted because I don't want my military Star Trek, but I realize it's a thing that they do now. It's an action movie thing.
Joe, my Trek friend, are you cheating on me? Because I would never tell any friend to revisit Discovery.
I appreciate
Friends
that.
don't tell friends to watch Star Trek Discovery.
As much as I want to try, I'm not going to today. I really love Strange New Worlds. I think it's the best Star Trek we've had in a long time. And if we don't get season 3 of that, if that goes by the wayside sooner than later, that's going to be the most disappointing for me. I think you and I have been very critical of season 2 because it's been less Star Trek and more episode of the week with a character or characters. And it hasn't really focused on the crew. I know Captain Pike is not the main character, but in my eyes, Strange New Worlds doesn't end until he meets his end, right? That's how that series is supposed to end. They're supposed to end with the menagerie and a couple more things, and then Pike meets his end. That's supposed to happen. right now I'm missing Lower Decks, because Lower Decks is the Rick and Morty style of comedy applied to the universe of Star Trek that we love so much, and it works
Do you know
so well.
Do you know the people who work on those shows?
No, I don't pay attention. I just watch the shows and laugh.
Mike McMahon, the creator of Star Trek Lower Decks, Rick and Morty, and Solar Opposites.
It's
the same
sense.
crew.
Just
It's
based
the same
off the
crew.
animation style and the timing. I think
he
Lower
cut his
Decks.
teeth on Rick and Morty, and he was. I just learned this today in the interview. Actually, he was writing the pilot episodes of Solar Opposites and Lower Decks simultaneously. They're both 5 years old, so both shows are in exact lockstep with each other time wise.
Has Q made it into Lower Decks yet?
Yes.
Okay, I'm forgetting
Briefly.
what episode.
I mean, he was in some sort of an. I forget. He was in there somewhere.
He did a voice cameo. I remember. I don't remember the reason, but I remember they did a thing where he was there.
They at least name dropped him for sure.
Right. Which, if we ever do ABV with Lower Decks, the wild card is not allowed to be anytime the Riker maneuver is mentioned.
Oh, God.
Because I don't want to die. I made that joke already earlier, but it's still true. I don't want to die. I think Lower Decks is the most entertaining Star Trek for the Next Generation fan. The fan who really enjoys Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, which is me. I admit that. Lower Decks is like shovel in all of the references and just keep making jokes about the show that I love and I've watched so many times. I miss that. I miss Lower Decks. I didn't like the last season as much as I liked the previous, but that's not a misstep. That's just okay. Keep telling more jokes, guys. I'll keep coming back for more.
Here's the amazing thing for me about Lower Decks. We've got all these high drama shows. We got Strange New Worlds, Discovery, Picard. And yet, I feel more connected to and am more invested in what happens to the characters in Lower Decks than these dramatic shows. For some reason, like, when Shax got offed in season 1, that hit. That hit like Data dying in Star Trek Nemesis. That hit like Spock dying in Wrath of Khan. And I'm like, it's a cartoon. Why do I care so much about these cartoon characters in these 21-minute episodes? But somehow they find a way to cram in an hour's worth of Star Trek storytelling in half the time. And a ton of jokes. And still hit the emotional beats that make you actually care about the characters.
Do you think it's because it's animation that they're able to speed past the drama and the conversation? Like, it truly is campy on purpose, so it makes sense that it's animated, not live action. I enjoyed the cameos that they did with Strange New Worlds, but I think that Lower Decks works because it's animated, and they can just use that as an excuse to skip past all the nonsense. Like, Lower Decks live action is the official Star Trek version of the Orville. The Orville,
I think you're onto something there.
Is just live action, jokey Star Trek. But if you're comparing what was available at the time, Discovery, etc., the Orville was better Star Trek than Star Trek for a while there, because it looked it looked practical and not digital.
True. Look, we've got tons of ideas of other Trek shows we can do, and I want to pin the Orville conversation because we could talk a whole show and then some about that show.
Agreed.
I think Lower Decks for me, though, is more like I'll call it the Mountain Dew effect, where it's concentrated Star Trek. Like, everything is faster and snappier. Everything moves quicker. because it has to, because it's animation. And as a result, I think the emotional beats hit harder because you're kind of worked into a fever pitch by the pacing of the show.
Right.
So when something, with stakes actually happens, you're like, oh my God, it hits twice as hard because it came upon you twice as fast. And yet still, they do find time to calm down and take emotional beats. And like when they got their second pips and they all became lieutenant junior grade, I was like, I didn't get choked up, but definitely like it hit me, where I live.
But the show is going
somewhere. Our babies are growing up.
Yep. The show is going somewhere. It's not just we're going to keep hitting the beats. You have to keep that character development going. Because now they can write them into more serious situations, right? They can leave them on their own, right? It's like leaving your child at home when they're 8 or 9 because you got to go to the grocery store, and they'll be fine. They might get into some mischief, but they'll be fine. Now
that
they get
is
to
a great
do that.
example.
Right.
Yeah.
They get to do that.
Yeah, and they continue to freak out and have their struggles, but it's because they're continually put in new situations. And then the senior officers still have to check them a little bit, be like, you got this. Like, you're freaking out because it's the first time you've ever done it, but the reason we put you in this position is because we know you can handle it.
I mean, we could paint the trim black, but what happens if we have to paint over it someday, AJ? Keeping the kid references coming.
But you're
and we all
right,
know
though,
the right answer is you replace the trim.
But yeah, you're right, man. The other thing with Lower Decks, though, is we've every show has its core cast, but they're kind of frozen. Like we didn't see Riker become a captain. We saw in Star Trek Generations, we saw Worf get promoted by half a pip. He didn't become a commander; he became a lieutenant commander.
That's right. They gave him the I call
the
it
black pip.
The black pip, but it's not that. It's the gold circle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, so we follow these characters for years, we become invested, but they don't go anywhere. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's a great line. Great line. Picard season 3. Yeah. but yeah, so we've watched characters and we've connected with them, but the promotions didn't mean that much and they didn't really go anywhere. They didn't really change or struggle with their ascendancy. Like Cisco went from commander to captain, and Kira went from a major to a colonel. And like I said, Worf in Generations, it wasn't that big a deal. It feels like when these ensigns got their lieutenant junior grade, which again, half a pip, the gold circle, it felt like a big deal.
Interesting point, because you mentioned First Contact earlier. Is Worf the only character in canon to receive a promotion?
Oh, and then he became a commander in DS9.
He did. Is he the only character who has received promotions in the series and then received a field demotion? Is he the only one?
Nope. Tom Paris.
That's right. Well, he wasn't promoted though. He was demoted.
No, he came in from jail.
Right. He got a title and then he was demoted.
Got put to lieutenant, became an ensign, and then re-earned his lieutenant position.
I think you're right.
I might have spoiled something for you.
You did.
I don't know when he got.
I'm in season 6. He's been an ensign for a while. He became a nurse and then got demoted. Like, you're going to be in the sick bay for a while.
Oh yeah, he was the backup medic. So,
right.
You're right, nurse. Basically, nurse. It does seem
Nurse
like a
Chapel.
good idea to maybe have someone on your medical staff that doesn't disappear when the power goes out.
Right. Someone with actual hands as opposed to light hands.
Mm-hmm. So I have to privately and publicly, I guess, credit Miranda. The reason that I've been able to leave my door open to my office, my podcasting studio here tonight, is because my dog is actually at her house. So
Very
that
nice.
is actually very handy, because my new kitty Lucy just reminded me that the door is open because she came in here to remind me that she exists.
Oh, sweet,
So.
dude. You got a new kitty?
Yes, I do have a new kitty. It's a bit of a dark story, though, so I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. It was my dad's kitty. So the heartwarming silver lining of all this, for people that don't watch the main show, I lost my father recently. And then
Sorry to hear
2
that,
weeks
man.
later, less than 2 weeks later, I lost my kitty of 18 years. So I was a human without a kitty, and that was a kitty without a human.
You did what you got to do, man.
It's just weird how that timing works out, right? So
sometimes I keep saying the words, you and John, you need to convince me to get a cat. You need to teach me how to be a cat person, because this dog is a cat dog. She was raised with cats. She likes cats. She thinks she's a cat. If I got her a cat, she would be a happy critter. But I've never been a cat guy, so I can't. So talk me into this, AJ. Tell me what I'm missing out on.
Well, I think Lucy back there found the catnip that I put under the bed, trying to lure her out from under it, because she is tear-assing around my apartment right now for no reason whatsoever. There's not a toy involved. No one is encouraging this. She's just bedroom to living room and back again, and all I hear is claws scrabbling ferociously for traction on my hardwood floors. So yeah, that's what you're missing.
Did you see this?
But,
hang on, it's over here. Let me go find it. Hey,
right.
Did you see this? Hey, it's over here. Let me go find it.
Joe, I think at the 2-hour mark, we should probably be capping this off tonight.
Probably
this has been a fantastic time.
Hell yes. Let's do this all the time.
Star Trek ABV, for a quick pull behind the curtain for the audience here. This will return for sure. We're not sure exactly how often we should do this, based on like being responsible people who don't get hammered all the time. But it will return for sure. We don't have a regular schedule, but we will probably pre-record this, and that way you know exactly when it's going to happen, and it'll be a little tighter show than a 2-hour meandering mess of whatever this is. But we do also want to do a standard Star Trek show. The same way this is Star Trek ABV, we have an idea for a show called Trek AF. And that is going to be the usual news / topic of the week or month that we feel like for Star Trek. We don't have a schedule yet, but we will be doing that. That will be a live show where we want you to chime in, give your thoughts on the Star Trek franchise or whatever the topic of the week is, or sidetrack us with whatever. It doesn't matter. If it's pirate sashes, that's cool too. But anything you guys want to hear or have thoughts about, by all means, hit us up on our socials. You can hit us up for the Nerf Herder Council. We are at Facebook. You can look us up on Nerf Herder Council on there. We are at NHC Podcast on X or Twitter, if you're old school like me. And we are also available on Patreon at patreon.com/NHC Podcast. Find us on all those socials, and we will absolutely interact with you. You can also email us if you want to do that. Be old school. That's nerfherdercouncil@gmail.com. Joe, if they want to find you online, where do they find you?
I'm pretty sure if you go to that wasteland known as Twitter, you can still find me at Discuss Metal Joe. The Fright Lab podcast is available everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can find that at thefrightlab.com or frightlabpodcast.com. But Discord is the place to be. See, I'm going to get you guys on Discord. We're going to set up the NHC community and keep this conversation going as I have done with the Fright Lab. So right now, if anybody wants to get a hold of me, the best way is discord.frightlabpodcast.com. That'll take you to my server. We talk about horror movies, but we don't just talk about horror movies. Sometimes we talk about some nerdy shit. Lucas likes to write symposiums. That's how he observes and takes notes for himself. He just keeps writing about whatever he's watching. So it's a good way to get a precursor to episodes that are coming up. And it's a great way to talk about things you're into and things that you're watching, including Star Trek and all the other sci-fi, because sometimes sci-fi is scary. I'm going to get you and John on the podcast, AJ. We have to talk about Alien as soon as possible. We'll talk after the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love that franchise. I have plenty to say about it. So, I think we're good for tonight. Yeah, Joe? You want to get
good. I need to take a trip to the water closet for all my English friends. So, yes, it's time to get out of here.
All right. Skip to your loo. In the meantime, thank you guys for hanging out with us on a WTF Friday on the Nerf Herder Council. I am AJ at Drake Adams 579. He is Joe.
At Discuss Metal Joe.
And we will catch you next time.